So we'll start with the bhajan. Let me know if you can see my video. Thank you. जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरवनचारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरवनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे। राधा माधव की जय, आशीष की वृंद की जय, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। So I would like to take blessings from all the assembled Vaishnavas, especially Pyare Prabhu Jiva Mataji. Please bless me so that I can speak something relevant in Krishna consciousness. So today we are going to read from Srimad Bhagavatam, and the canto is first, chapter 3, the entitled Source of All Incarnation, and we are reading the 43 verse. So I will chant. कृष्णा स्वधामोपगते धर्मा ज्ञानादिभिः सह कलो नष्टादशमेष पुराणर्को अधुनितः। कृष्णा स्वधामोपगते
कृष्णे स्वधामोपगते
धर्माज्ञानादिभिः सह
धर्माज्ञानादिभिः सह
कलो नष्टदृशमेषा
कलौ नष्टादृशम् एषा
पुराणर्को अधुनिदितः
पुराणोदुनितः।
कृष्णे स्वधामोपगते
कृष्णे स्वधामोपगते
धर्माज्ञानादिभिः सह
धर्माज्ञानादिभिः सह
कलो नष्टदृशमेषा
कलौ नष्टादृशम्
पुराणर्को अधुनितः
पुराणादितः।
Anyone would like to recite?
कृष्णे स्वधामोपगते
कृष्णे
स्वधामोपगते
धर्माज्ञानादिभिः सह
धर्माज्ञानादिभिः सह
वो नष्टादृशमेषा
कलो नष्टादृशमेषा
पुराणर्कोऽधुनोदितः
अधुनिदितः
कृष्णे स्वधर्मोपगते
कृष्णे स्वधामोपगते
धर्मज्ञानादिभिः सह
धर्माज्ञानादिभिः सह
कलौ नष्टदृशामेष
कलो नष्टदृशमेषा
पुराणार्को अधुनोदितो
पुराणर्को अधुनिदितो Anyone else?
कृष्णे स्वधामोपगते
कृष्णे स्वधामोपगते
धर्मोपगते
धर्मज्ञानादिभिः सह
धर्मज्ञानादिभिः
धर्माज्ञानादिभिः
सह
सह
कलौ नष्टादृशम् एषा
कलौ
कलो
नष्टदृशामेष
नष्टदृशमेषा
पुराणार्कोऽधुनोदिता
पुराणर्को
पुराणार्कोऽधुनोदितः
अधुनिदितः
कृष्णे स्वधामोपगते
कृष्णे स्वधामोपगते
धर्मज्ञानादिभिः सह
धर्माज्ञानादिभिः सह
कलौ नाष्टदृशम् एषा
कलो नष्टदृशमेषा
पुराणको अधुनोदितः
पुराणर्को अधुनिदितः Anyone else? Okay, Prabhu, can you please scroll down a little bit? Nandgopal Prabhu, you are there? Thank you. So word to word, Krishna in Krishna's.
कृष्णे in Krishna's
Swadhama own abode.
Svadham own abode.
Upagate having returned.
उपगति
Return.
Dharma religion.
धर्म religion
Jnana knowledge.
ज्ञान
knowledge.
Adibhihi combined together.
आदि combined
Saha along with.
सह
with
Kalo in the Kali Yuga.
कलौ
Kali Yuga.
Nashtadrisham of person who have lost their sight.
नष्टदृशम् of persons who have lost their sight.
Esha all these.
Asia is
All the
Purana Arkaha, the Purana which is brilliant like the sun.
Purana.
Purana, the
Purana.
Purana is brilliant like the sun.
Adunaha just now.
Aduna.
Just now,
Udita has arisen.
Udita.
has
So I'll read the translation. This Bhagavad Purana is as brilliant as the sun, and it has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in this age of Kali shall get light from this Purana. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Lord Shri Krishna has his eternal Dhama or abode, where he eternally enjoys himself with his eternal associates and paraphernalia. And his eternal abode is a manifestation of his internal energy, whereas the material world is a manifestation of his external energy. When he descends to the material world, he displays himself with all the paraphernalia in his internal potency, which is called Atma Maya. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that he descends by his own potency, Atma Maya. His form, name, fame, paraphernalia, abode, etc. are not therefore creations of matter. He descends to reclaim the fallen soul and to reestablish the code of religion which are directly enacted by him. Except for God, no one can establish the principle of religion. Either he or a suitable person empowered by him can dictate the code of religion. Real religion means to know God, our relationship with him, and our duties in relationship with him, and to know ultimately our destination after leaving this material body. The conditioned souls who are entrapped by the material energy hardly know all these principles of life. Most of them are like animals, engaged in eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. They are mostly engaged in sense enjoyment under the pretension of religiosity, knowledge, or salvation. They are still more blind in the present age of quarrel or Kali Yuga. In the Kali Yuga, the population is just a royal addition of the animals. They have nothing to do with the spiritual knowledge or godly religious life. They are so blind that they cannot see anything beyond the jurisdiction of the subtle mind, intelligence, or ego. But they are very much proud of their advancement in knowledge, science, and material prosperity. They can risk their life to become a dog or hog just after leaving the present body, for they have completely lost sight of the ultimate aim of life, the personality of Godhead. Sri Krishna appeared before us just a little prior to the beginning of Kali Yuga, and he returned to his eternal home practically at the commencement of Kali Yuga while he was present. He exhibited everything by his different activities. He spoke the Bhagavad Gita specifically and eradicated all pretentious principle of religiosity. And prior to his departure from this material world, he empowered Srila Vyasadeva through Narada to compile the messages of Srimad Bhagavatam. And thus both the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam are like torch bearers for the blind people of this age. In other words, if the men in this age of Kali want to see the real light of life, they must take to these two books only, and their aim of life will be fulfilled. Bhagavad Gita is the preliminary study of the Bhagavatam, and Srimad Bhagavatam is the summum bonum of life. Lord Krishna personified we must therefore accept Srimad Bhagavatam as a direct representation of Lord Krishna. One who can see Srimad Bhagavatam can also see Lord Krishna in person, as they are identical. ॐ अज्ञानं तिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपासाग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथं वितं तं सजीवं स्वाद्वैतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखंसितं च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमस्तुते। तप्त कंचना गौरंगी श्रीराधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभय एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंदा। Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So as we have discussed, I'll just one more time read the translation for this verse 1343. This Bhagavad Purana is as brilliant as the sun, and it has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shall take light from this Purana. So we'll try to understand this verse. So here, what Prabhupada is saying that Nashta Drisham. So we'll try to understand what is first called Nashta Drisham. So if we see with our these material eyes, let's say if in the night, if we switch off all the lights, so there will be no electricity. We cannot even see an object very near, just like 1 meter away, or even we cannot see our own self properly. So that is the power of our eyes. So our senses are really imperfect, and Krishna is called Adogchasha. He is beyond the conception of material senses. He is the complete transcendental personality. So with these eyes, imperfect eyes, definitely we cannot see God. But some people, Prabhupada mentions that some people, they will ask the question, can you show me God? So the the reply to them, Prabhupada mentions is, do you have the power to see the God? You have so much imperfect senses that you cannot see the God. First of all, you have to make your senses eligible to see the God. So Prabhupada mentions this words, Ata Sri Krishna Namadi. This is from Padma Puran. I'll just open the verse. So this verse says, Ata Shri Krishna Namadi na bhavet graham indriya sevan mukhe hi jivado swayam eva spruti adaha. So this verse is originally from Padma Purana, but it has been quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Kavidas Goswami and by Rupa Goswami in Nectar of Devotion. So this verse says that no one can understand the transcendental nature of the name, form, quality, and pastime of Sri Krishna through his materially contaminated senses. Only when one becomes spiritually saturated by transcendental service to the Lord are the transcendental name, form, quality, and pastimes of the Lord revealed to him. So this was clearly mentioned that first of all we have to purify our senses, and we will see how can we purify our senses. We'll see that also. So first of all, we like to discuss this word. So we have discussed the verse Nashta Drisham, and it says that this is the Srimad Bhagavatam. This has come when Krishna appeared around 5,000 years back. So when Krishna appeared, and when he went, because it was the beginning of the Kali Yuga and Krishna went. So it has been mentioned in this verse, when Krishna went, he took away the dharma and jnana. So in the previous chapters of this canto, first canto, I think the first chapter, first chapter, first canto and 23rd verse, the question has been asked. So Sutta Goswami was speaking Bhagavatam at the place of Nimesharayana, and to the sages headed by Shaunaka. So there are so many saintly persons, they were there, and they were asking some intelligent questions which have been discussed in the first chapter of this canto. And the one question they have asked, so when Krishna went to his own abode, how can we know what is dharma, what is jnana? So please tell us. So in reply to their question, Sutta Goswami, he praised the question in the second chapter, 5th verse. He says, your question is very intelligent. So why he's praising the questions of sages? Sutta Goswami, he's praising because they have inquired about Krishna. When we inquired about Krishna, that is all purifying. So till the time we can speak about Krishna, we have the ability to purify our senses. So when we speak, we purify our tongue. When we hear, we purify our ear. So this is how we purify our senses. So that's how the question has been praised by Sutta Goswami, and it is for all the people, it is for all the people's benefit. Like he says that it is Jagat Kalyanam. So we see another verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. It's in the 7th canto, which we discussed last time about Prahlad Maharaj. And it's 10 chapter 70 verses. It says, Evam vidhanasya hare samayaya vidambamanasya niklokamatmana वीर्यानि गीतानि ऋषिभिर्जगद्गुरुर्लोकं पुनानानि aparam vadami kim. This is a very, very beautiful verse which has been spoken by Narada Muni, and he says that what is the need of I am telling. So exactly he says Lord Krishna appeared as a human being. So people, we know that Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that avajananti mamuda, they do not know my correct nature, they consider me as a human being. So in regard to that, Lord Krishna appeared as a human being. This verse is saying, yet he performed many uncommon and wonderful activities. So what are the wonderful activities the Lord has performed when he was there in this earth planet? He has lifted the Govardhan hill at the age of 7, and with his left hand, small finger, and he has killed Putna. She was just 3 month-year-old. So he has killed so many demons. Similarly, when he was in Vrindavan, without any much effort, without even taking up the weapons. And he has also married later on in Dwarika. He has married 16,100 wives. So that is also is not possible. To manage all these wives, but why he can manage? Because he is the Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He is the Lord of all the complete universes. So every jiva belongs to him. So he cannot even maintain 16,100 wives. He can maintain millions and millions and trillions. So many jivas, countless jivas he can maintain. So, he is maintaining too. And how can I say more about his activities? So Narada Muni is saying that he is taking this humble position and saying, how can I say more about this his activities that has already been said by great saintly persons? So it has already been mentioned by so many great saintly person, and he mentions lokam punanani aparam vadami kim, and everyone can be purified by these activities. And what is the formula he gives? How can we purified? He says simply by hearing about them from the right source. So we have to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from the right source, and then we can get the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam, what it talks about. So that is what is mentioned here. So sage, as we were back to our verse, so we were mentioning about Sutta Goswami was praising the question of the sages. And then it says Puranarko Uduniditaha. So in this age of Kali, as we see, when let's say we don't have electricity throughout the night, but when the suns come, our senses become eligible to see. So we can see the things nearby. We can see everything. With how we can see, we don't have electricity, but we still see, because we can see in the from the presence of sun. So as sun is there, sun's energy is coming as a light and heat, and then we feel the heat of the sun, and then we also feel the light. We can see everything. So here it has been mentioned in this age of Kali Yuga, this book has arisen as a sun will arise when there is night. Sun arise and it dissipate the darkness. Similarly, this book has arisen, and this book has the essence of knowledge and dharma. So what we should do, and it has specially arisen in this age of Kali, because people are so what is the characteristic of Kali? People are very lazy. They always quarrel with each other, and people most of the time in the age of Kali Yuga, people will be having quarrel all the time. So they'll be having fightings. And why they are lazy? They are not lazy for maintaining themselves or doing any passionate activity for sense gratification, but they are lazy for their spiritual advancement. So people are so much lazy, and they are manda buddhi. They are called as not intelligent. They are very much manda buddhi. It has been described. These are the people of Kali Yuga, has been described like this in Srimad Bhagavatam only. So this Purana, it has arisen. Udunidita means it has arisen like a sun, and then we should take the knowledge from this, because it has been mentioned that this contains, so as an answer to the question which has been raised in the first chapter, third chapter, Sutta Goswami answers by reciting this verse, saying that dharma and jnana has been established in this. And Krishna, we also know that Srimad Bhagavatam is not different from Krishna. It is a Shabda incarnation of Krishna. How we understand that? because as Krishna appears, so we worship the deity in the temple, Archa Vigraha. So as Krishna appears in the Archa Vigraha form, so that we can render service to him. Recently, we have read in the chapter of devotional service that, we have that analogy, the postman analogy, the post box analogy. If it's authorized, then it can take. So similarly, Archa Vigraha is the incarnation that has been mentioned in the Shastras, and it can take our worship. So it is not something made up of stone. It is made up of stone, but it is not practically stone. Krishna can manifest from anything. So he is manifesting is a sound incarnation, in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, and he's manifesting from the stone or this thing as a Archa Vigraha incarnation. So as we have taken the example that he can manifest from anything, because Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, right? Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayu, he says in Bhagavad Gita 7.4 that everything, earth, water, fire, air, ether, and sky are the same. So they are my energy. So Krishna can appear. So sound needs a medium to travel. So he appears as a sound incarnation as a Srimad Bhagavatam. And it has also been mentioned that Srimad Bhagavatam, all different cantos, we have in total 12 canto in Srimad Bhagavatam, 1 to 12, but we have 18 volumes book. So in some of the canto, like third and fourth canto, we have 2 volumes of books. So in 10th, we have the largest, it is a 3-volume book. And 11th again, so in total we have 18 books, and these are all describing the nice pastime. Like third canto, if you take it, describes Kapila Muni. Fourth canto, Prithu Maharaj. Like a lot of the things are there. Sixth canto, Ajamil, and then sixth canto also describe about Chitraketu Maharaj. Seventh canto, Prahlad Maharaj. Eighth canto, Bali Maharaj. So many cantos. Ninth canto, Rama, Amrish Maharaj. So many canto they are describing. So what they are describing, they are not just describing, like as we say Bhagavad Gita has been spoken by Krishna, and Srimad Bhagavatam is a Bhagavad book which has been describing the activities of Lord and his devotees. So Lords and his devotees are non-different, because Lord says that he stays in the heart of the pure devotee. So all the beautiful pastimes are described in this wonderful book that has been compiled by Vyasadeva, and it is because of the mercy of Krishna. So Krishna is thinking, when he's going also, he's thinking about us. So we see how Krishna is merciful, because it has been spoken by Sukdeva Goswami when Maharaj Parikshit was, he went, so a little bit short story. So Maharaj Parikshit went to hunt in the forest. And when he went, he was feeling so much thirst and hunger. So he went to nearby ashram. He find there was Samik Rishi. He was doing tapasya, but he was meditating. He was in samadhi. The Rishi did not know that Parikshit Maharaj, the emperor of the world, he has came here. Even though Parikshit Maharaj is called as Rajarishi, it was due to the providence or Yadricha, we say, by his own sweet will. So Krishna will perform, Krishna will take his devotee as an instrument to teach us so many things. So Krishna is taking Parikshit Maharaj as an instrument, and he's at this point of time he garland Samik Rishi with the dead snake, because he think that in the Vedic culture, if somebody comes to our house, we have to offer 3 things. So we have to offer them the seat, place to sit. We have to offer them at least a glass of water, and we have to offer them a garland, and then we have to offer them the sweet words. These 3 and 4 things are necessary as a Vedic custom to offer when somebody comes. But Parikshit Maharaj was the emperor of the world, and Samik Rishi, he did not, paid attention, or he think that he did not pay attention, but that was not the case, because he was in samadhi. He was not sure that Parikshit Maharaj has arrived there. So he garlanded, and then some of the boy, I think one of the boy, he saw that, and he went near the river where the boys, Samik Rishi has one son called Shringi Rishi. So Shringi was playing with the boys, and this boy who has seen this incident, he went to Shringi, and he told that somebody has insulted your father, and garlanded him with Parikshit Maharaj is garlanded with the dead snake. Then he became so angry, and he had the power to curse. So he took the water in his hand, and he cursed that in the 7 days Parikshit Maharaj is going to die. Takshat Nag will come, and he will bite, and Parikshit Maharaj would leave. He has to die. So Parikshit Maharaj, he was a very saintly person, even though he had the power because he was a very pure devotee. Because we know that Parikshit Maharaj has been saved when he was in the womb of Uttara from the Brahmastra of Ashwadhama. So he was very, very, very pure devotee. He has seen Lord Krishna inside in the womb itself when he was in the womb of in his mother. So he has the power to counteract, but he did not counteract. He took it as the opportunity, as we know that devotee. So who is a devotee? So devotee takes whatever circumstances are has been created by Krishna. He doesn't even take it as a desire of Krishna. The next step or level is he take it as a blessing from Krishna. So Parikshit Maharaj has done the same thing. So he has took it as a blessing, so that he can he knows 7 days. So he arrived at the Ganga, and then there is the Srimad Bhagavatam has been spoken by Sukadeva Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj in 7 days. And we see the same Parikshit Maharaj. It has been mentioned earlier that he has been so much, he could not control his hunger and thirst, so he did that. But we know that it is from the will of the Supreme Lord, Yadricha. So same Parikshit Maharaj is drinking the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam without sleeping, without having anything. I think it has been asked also by Sukadeva Goswami that 3 and 4 days happened, you did not sleep. So he did not sleep, he did not drink, he did not eat anything. He was just drinking the nectar. He said, he did not wish anything because you are pouring so much nectar. So this Srimad Bhagavatam, it is so much nectarian that Parikshit Maharaj has forgotten. Just 7 days he was sitting and hearing about the Hari Katha or the Srimad Bhagavatam from the lips of the exalted personality like Sukadeva Goswami. So we see here, so we come to the point. So we were glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam. So how Srimad Bhagavatam, and we were saying that how Krishna is merciful. So even though Krishna has went to his own abode, but he has left the knowledge and jnana which we can take in this age of Kali Yuga. And in this age of Kali Yuga, people mostly are in ignorance. So what the people does is, the people in mode of ignorance, they think what is good is not good. So let's say this is good, so they think what is good is bad and what is bad is good. So that is the characteristic of a person in ignorance. And most of the people in this age of Kali, we find that the people are living in mode of ignorance or either in passion. So they think it opposite. So here we see that we see the mercy of Krishna, how he has left. And if you consider the mercy of Krishna to left this Srimad Bhagavatam, and now you consider the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. He has translated how we could read all these books. Because of his mercy, he has translated all this book word to word translation for every Sanskrit. He has word to word. 18,000 verses are there in total. So he has wrote word to word, then he has given translation, then he has given his sweet purports where he is pouring out his heart ecstasy. So we should definitely take advantage of this great literature which we have. And it's also the incarnation of Krishna, that we can read that and relish it. It is so much relishable. When we start reading, these pastimes are very, very nectarian. So we should take advantage. One time, I remember this just from the latest conversation, like latest seminar or session which was happening. So Srila Niranjan Swami Maharaj, my Guru Maharaj, he was mentioning that he was one time speaking to Tamal Krishna Maharaj. So Tamal Krishna Maharaj was the secretary of Prabhupada. He was early disciple of Prabhupada. So he was saying that one day he was sitting with Prabhupada and sitting, he was sitting near to Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada mentioned to him that Krishna asked me to come to this material world. I did not want to come to this material world. So Krishna asked me, and then Prabhupada at that time mentioned, I was very hesitant. Then Krishna saw it, and then he was like, don't worry, you leave your book and come back. So this is how Guru Maharaj was describing the glories. So how the conversation between the close disciple of Srila Prabhupada and Tamal Krishna Maharaj has told to him. So we see that without the mercy of Krishna, no one has the power to translate. So Srila Prabhupada was definitely a spiritual personality which has come from his Krishna's abode to teach us. And even though Krishna left it, but he knows that people of Kali Yuga, they don't know anything. They don't know Sanskrit, nothing. So it has been translated to a nice, and so much language so that every people can read this and take advantage from. So, and we also know that from Srimad Bhagavatam, I mean, most of the speaker would recite this verse. Nashtaprayeshu abhatreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati nashtiki. So this shloka says that whatever is troublesome to the heart will go away, and bhagavati uttama shloke. So Krishna has been glorified with the choices of verses in Srimad Bhagavatam. So what will happen, you will have the bhakti established in your heart as an irrevocable fact, so that cannot be reversed. So it is, and it is called Nityam Bhagavata Seva. It is not weekly Bhagavata Seva, it is every day. So every day we have to open this beautiful book of Srimad Bhagavatam, and every day at least we should read 1 or 2 verses from Srimad Bhagavatam. We should get out a time from our busy schedule and try to read at least 1 verse a day. We should definitely plan to read, because it is called Nityam Bhagavata Seva. If we regularly, how regularly we bathe, nobody comes and tells us, hey, you need to bathe, or you need to do this and that, you need to brush your teeth. So like that, we have to take this book to our heart, so that we will recite it every day and we will read it every day. Then what will happen, we will, the bhakti towards the Supreme Lord will get established within our heart. And it has been also mentioned, and as we have already described, and Prabhupada also says in the purport, that it has been compiled by Srila Vyasadeva. He's called a Mahamuni, so he has compiled this great literature. And Prabhupada, I have read there, and we were reading together. So he says that if you read Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam only, then your life will become successful. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Goswami Thakur, who is the spiritual master of our beloved Srila Prabhupada, he mentions that even every book of this world will get destroyed. If we have the Srimad Bhagavatam, then we have everything. If we do not lose Srimad Bhagavatam, then we have every knowledge in that. So that's how the glories of this beautiful Srimad Bhagavatam is, and it is giving us the the chance to know what is good or bad. So it is giving us the chance to know the jnana and to know the dharma. And in the human form of life, has been mentioned that we should do, as the sages are inquiring about, they know about Krishna, but they are inquiring about, if Krishna went, how we can get this knowledge in the dharma, how we can get this. So similarly, in the human society, we should be inquisitive, we should be doing the jigyasa, athato brahma jigyasa it is called, that we should inquire what is the absolute truth, why I'm here, what is the purpose of my life, what is going to happen. Everybody has a lifetime of, let's say, 70 years, 100 nobody goes at this age. And later on, the Srimad Bhagavatam also, it has been predicted in the canto 12 that it is going to reduce very drastically. So all the symptoms of Kali Yuga has been mentioned in the 12th canto, and now we see 70, 80, if 80 or 90, if the people live, then we think that they are, we think that they are very have a longevity in their life. But we do not know what is our what is our expiry date. So as earlier classes also we mentioned that expiry date for everybody, but we do not know we'll see the sun for tomorrow. So we have to utilize our time to attain something spiritual. So it is called Tapodivyam. So little bit austerity is needed. And Rishabhadeva, he is the father of Bharat Maharaj. So he has 100 sons headed by Bharat Maharaj. And Rishabhadeva is also the incarnation of Krishna. And he is speaking, I think, in the 5th canto. He is telling, the chapter is entitled Teachings of Rishabhadeva to his sons. So he says, we'll discuss just a small verse from there. It's a very beautiful verse. So he says that we should inquire. So what we should do, he says, Rishabha uvacha naham deho bhajam nirkaloke kashtan kaman arhate vij bhujam ye tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam suddhet yashmat brahma saukyam tavanantanam. So Rishabhadev said, he said that, told to his son, my dear boys, of all the living entities, so we are all living entities who accepted the material bodies in this world. So he says, one who has been awarded this human form should not work hard day and night simply for sense gratification. So mostly people, what they do, they work and then they spend their night in sense gratification, and then they, in the morning, they just decorate their body and think this and that, so many things, to take care, but no one thinks about what is goal of my life, what I'm going to do after so many years. So disease are um, this human body itself is you can call it as a house of the disease, because it gives you so many disease. When you have headache, this, that, so many things, I do not need to explain, everybody can experience that. And he says that this sense gratification, if you want to work hard, day hard and night, what is the use of this human form? You do that, you get the body of dogs and hogs. What they do, hogs eat stool, and he's thinking I'm very happy, he's sleeping and doing all these activities. So dogs and hogs do the same. So you do not want to waste your human form doing all these activity. If you want to do, and even we have done this, because we have taken so many birth in this human form, dog, hog, butterfly, whatever, so many living species. So we have done that, all these things, but now we have got the opportunity of the human form of life. One should engage in penance and austerity. So he says tapo divyam. So we have to do some austerity and penances, so that we can attain what we attain. We attain the divine position of devotional service. By such activities, one's heart is purified, and when one attains this position, he attains blissful eternal life, which is transcendental to material happiness, and it continue forever. So what we should try to hanker for. Usually we hanker for so many things. We hanker for money, we hanker for good clothes, we hanker for this, we hanker for that. No need to hanker for all these things. Why? Because these are not going to be with you permanently. As Rishabhadev is telling, he is explaining, and he's telling you have to do some austerity. And we see in the past, Dhruva Maharaj, when he performed the austerity, just a 5-year-old boy, he went to the forest, did a very, very Siva tapasya. We cannot do that. We cannot imitate the activities of the great souls. But in this age of Kali, we have given the simplest method. That also looks us, we are so fallen that it also looks us very difficult. So what is the simplest method has been given to us? Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Eva Kevalam. Kalyo naste, eva naste, eva naste gatiranyata. There is no other way, no other way, no other way than the chanting of the holy name of Krishna. How many times we have heard this? But how much percentage we take it to our heart? So we have to chant the holy name of Lord Krishna. There is no other way to get out of to get out of this material world, or to attain the love of Krishna, to purify our heart. This is the remedy, it has been already given. So so he's saying that tapo divyam, you should do the austerity. So austerity should be for Krishna, not for anything else, not for austerity or penances. Prabhupada mentions in Bhagavad Gita, right? He says that political leaders, they fast. That is not called the austerity in the proper mode. So austerity in proper Vishuddha Sattva. So we do these kind of austerity so that we advance in our Krishna consciousness. So here, as we discuss this verse, it is greatly said that we have to do tapo divyam so that we can attain Brahma Sakyam Anantanam. So when you attain that, that will go on eternal. So think that you want to possess something which you want to leave. So if you want to make a bank balance, let's say, just take an example. So we can relate that, because we are in the material world. Of course, we need money, but we have to think how much can I take with me? How much I want to accumulate, so how I should spend my time. So when we accumulate so much bank balance, but what happens when a beggar dies? He doesn't have a penny, or he have a penny in his little bowl of whatever bowl he has to when he beg. Or a millionaire die, he has millions of money in his account. What is the difference? Everybody is going to the same either they buried the body, or they they what you call that anti sanskara, they do that fire, your body, they will burn the body. So either they bury the body, so or some cultures they throw it to the vultures, so that at least they get benefit of eating, and ultimately it is turning to stool, because they are eating your body when the soul has left, and it is turning to stool, because that living entity is ultimately doing the same thing. So that is how it he has been mentioned, that we should not waste our time like hogs and dogs doing working for sense gratification. We have to follow these principles. And Prabhupada also mentions, as we have recently read in our Srimad Bhagavatam classes in 12th canto devotional service, Prabhupada mentions in one of the purport, what is the small austerity we all he wants from all of the person who are trying to follow. He want everybody should get up early in the morning, chant their round. Why early in the morning? Because it is very, very auspicious, and it is in the mode of goodness. As the day progresses, we have so many things to concentrate on. So it is very good, as Prabhupada mentions, that we should try. Everybody's situation is different, but we should try to do this Tapodivyam, little bit austerity. And the other austerity is, first is you should chant Hare Krishna, and the second is we should give up the habit of indulgence in sense gratification, because that will lead us how it will not it will degrade our consciousness. If we want to engage in sense gratification, then it will degrade our consciousness. So what we should do, we should just try to indulge. That austerity is needed. So you try to indulge, not indulge in the sense gratification. So I would like to read, and we will just try to understand how this Srimad Bhagavatam can purify us. So just give me 1 second. So here I like these lines very much. It is just from the next verse, 1-3-44. I'll just read to a couple of lines and then we'll discuss. One should hear with rapt attention from the real person, and then he can at once realize the presence of Lord Krishna in every page of Srimad Bhagavatam. The secret of knowing Bhagavatam is mentioned here. No one can give rapt attention who is not pure in mind. So it has been mentioned very nicely by Prabhupada that whoever is not pure in mind, they cannot give rapt attention to this beautiful literature. No one can be pure in mind who is not pure in action. So if you are not pure in action, that you cannot pure in mind. No one can be pure in action who is not pure in eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. But somehow or other, if someone hears with rapt attention from the right person at the very beginning, one can assuredly see Lord Krishna in the pages in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So this has been, like, I really like these 3-4 lines where Prabhupada is mentioning, he is giving. So whoever is not pure in mind, they cannot give rapt attention. So what we should do, we should be pure in action. So how can we become pure in action? We cannot become pure in action unless we follow the 4 regulative principle. No meat eating, no illicit sex, no gambling, no intoxication. If we do all these 4 activities where the Kali resides, we cannot we cannot be pure in mind. So let's say if we are eating here and there, or we are eating non-vegetarian, or whatever the food is not allowed, even the food that is not offered to Krishna, we eat sin. So by eating sin, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 3:13 that those who enjoy by themselves, they just merely eat sin. So we should try to eat as much as only prasadam which is offered to Krishna, so that we can become pure in our eating. So Prabhupada mentioning here who is not pure in eating. So how we can become pure in eating, we know, because Prabhupada has established this principle of devotee taking only Krishna prasadam. And sleeping, so Prabhupada says sleeping is required. We are not we cannot imitate our Goswamis who just used to practically no sleep. They used to just take rest for 1.5 or 2 hours a day, but we cannot do that. But sleeping is necessary because we can function. So while we are sleeping, we should also think that we are sleeping so that we can serve Krishna nicely when we wake up or when we do other activities of the day. So sleeping 6 hours or 7 hours a day, not more than that, maybe 8 hours maximum. It depends on person to person. So we have to control these things. And fearing, so we have to, so we will not become fearless, as we have discussed the other class, that how we become fearless when we turn away from Krishna, then we serve the illusionary energy, and then all the fears and all these things come. So it is mentioned in the nice song, Bhajahu re man Shri Nanda Nandan Abhicharan Ar Bindare दुर्लभ मानव जन्म सत्संग तारा हुए भव sindhure. So it has been clearly mentioned. This is the first stanza of that song by Govind Ghosh. So he says that Bhajahu Reman Sri Nanda Nandan. So you worship Nanda Nandan. What will happen when you worship? You will become abhay. You will become fearless. So all the things has been clearly given. You know, it has been given us. We just need to open the box. So somebody has got your present. Nobody will tell you that, hey, you need to open this. You will automatically open this. Similarly, this Srimad Bhagavatam is packed with the with so much knowledge and jnana and dharma, and Prabhupada translated it. We just need to open it. We just need to, as we open the gift, we just need to open, and this gift will give you the eternal happiness. So fearing will go away, and the mating, as we have, mating means engaging in the illicit activities. We should not indulge unless it has been prescribed as in the Vedic literature. So Krishna says when it is for the procreation, yes, it is representing Krishna, but other than that, that represent the lusty desires, and thus, our indulgence into these activities, because we cannot control our senses. So when we purify this, then our action get purified. When we have a purified action, then gradually our mind become purified. Then our mind become purified. Then we can give rapt attention to Srimad Bhagavatam. So on this note, I would like to pause for today. I would like to open it for any comments, questions, feedbacks, and Pyare Prabhu Jiva Mataji, if something you want to add, or miss something.
Well, you said an awful lot. You covered a lot. But I think the analogy of the Bhagavatam being compared to the sun is very apt, because for us, the sun rises and sets, but it's always there. Just like the Bhagavatam, it appears at intervals and it disappears, but it's always there also. I'm curious, when did you choose to do this verse?
I chose, Mataji asked me on, when she asked me, on Tuesday or Monday. When Ganpati Govind Prabhu asked me the same day for Tuesday class, Monday. She asked me on Monday, so I confirmed on Monday, Mataji.
You chose this verse that day?
Yeah, I chose this verse. I asked her, and I asked Ganpati Govind Prabhu also if we can take this any verse or how we are going. So he said we can take any verse, and Mataji also confirmed.
Okay. I just think it's interesting.
I chose this.
You texted me this morning, and I texted you the English of this back.
Oh, really? I did not see your text.
Yeah, and check the time.
Oh, I did not see your text, Mataji, because I was... Oh, Hari Bol. So you were not sure that I'm going to speak this verse at that time, right? Yeah. Yeah, I saw your text now when you told. Very nice. Yeah. Thank you, Mataji.
You're nice. You covered a lot of area, gave everybody a lot to think about. It's very good.
Yeah, and this is the Srimad Bhagavatam. Yesterday, I didn't have my first canto, so I was just thinking, I went down to search something else in my basement, and I did, because we have in our we have the Srimad Bhagavatam, but one of my devotee friend took that book. So I went downstairs for something else, and then I found a box, and there are book boxes, and I found this beautiful first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam from there yesterday when I went. So this is the first canto. I just took it out just to see. So this is the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. If anybody on the call, if they doesn't have, they can contact Pyare Prabhu Jiva Mataji or our book distribution team. They can take it. Should definitely a must in everybody's home who want to understand. And we can read from online, but opening the book and reading gives a different perspective. I like to read personally from the book. So.
And the first canto, especially, Srila Prabhupada didn't know if he would live. He actually, besides the 2 heart attacks on the ship, he had a stroke in New York. And so he put a lot into these first volumes, of the Bhagavatam.
Yeah.
There's purports, so much in there.
Yeah, so it is like, gift has been given to us and we just need to open it. It just came into my mind when I was speaking. So as we open the gift, somebody gives. So we have to just open this and see. It's so beautiful. So just would like to, is anybody has any questions? Thank you, Mataji, for adding that. Anybody has any questions? Comments?
Very good lecture, Mataji. Mataji, you need 2 copies of Bhagavatam. You are searching for Bhagavatam.
If you have 2 copies, then you don't have to search either on the first floor or in the basement.
No, Prabhu, I was not searching Bhagavatam. I have my Bhagavatam with one of my devotee friend, and I just, 2 cantos were there because she wanted to read, so I gave. So I was just searching something else, and there was it is not my, it is just for the book distribution which we have kept in our home, I think, because we have shifted recently, so it is there in my home. This is just the open copy which we show. It is all closed, that gift pack. That is closed, but as I opened, I was searching something else and I found this. So just, telling. Yeah, and I just called to my friend before that I need that Bhagavatam, and after that I found this. So, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hare.
So we still have 3-4 minutes. If somebody have anything to share, they can share their realization, comments, else we'll end. We'll just wait for 1-2 minutes if somebody has anything to say.
I need a copy of the Bhagavatam.
Hari bol.
I left one in California, and
Okay.
I have half of it here, half of it there, and I bought one there, and I gave it away because my daughter didn't have room in her house. Now I need a third copy.
Okay, so we'll give you, Mataji, your one Bhagavatam set is book for Gita Mala Mataji. Hari bol. So anybody else has anything to say? Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, we should have the complete copy in our home, and it is very nice to open and read. Okay, so I think nobody has anything to share, so I'll pay my obeisances to all the Vaishnavas. Pancha kalpatarubhyascha kripasindhuvaya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anant koti
Koti
Vaishnava
Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.